What's up, everybody? It's your favorite stepfather, Dope Magic. And for video number 2, we got something a little different this time. We're going to do a little short video essay, and this is going to be based on why I love Nintendo. And, wait, hold on. Your mama said don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe before she beat your ass. But anyway, let's get into the video. Acceptance. Oxford defines acceptance as the action or process of being received as adequate or suitable, typically to be admitted into a group. Now, through my childhood and my early teenage years, I struggled with this. I'm not saying that I didn't have any friends or was an outcast, but I always felt like there was a part of me that I couldn't fully flourish due to wanting to be accepted. Now, through my late teens and my early adulthood, I've seen that this is not just uncommon, it's very common among my peers, especially black male demographic. Now, for context, I'm a 24-year-old black man who just happens to love Nintendo. Now, while that may not seem like the craziest thing now due to the internet, back then it was a bit of a struggle, and it still is at some points. Now, growing up, there was always this stigma that video games themselves were for children. And although at the time me and my peers were children, everybody had this obsession with being like their older brother, older sister, their parent. They just wanted to be older and doing what's cool and not what's fun. So at about 8 or 9, I was just that kid who wanted to be cool like the boy who didn't play them because they were for kids. But I also made it to the 8th gym on Pokemon Fire Red, and I'll be damned if I lost that progress. Because on a serious note, why the fuck are games so hard as kids? Plus, I didn't want to give up that nostalgic feeling that I had playing Mario Party with my family or playing Pokemon Stadium with my older sister, where she bullied me off certain Pokemon like Articuno because they were her Pokemon, even though clearly it stated it's rented, Ebony. But anyway, these were precious memories that I held near and dear to me, so I couldn't let them go regardless of how it hindered me. So like anybody else, I hid it. I hid my love of these games so that way I wouldn't rock the boat too much with popularity, and still to this day I feel those effects. Acceptance is a weird thing. You're not necessarily born with it, you just work to gain it from your friends and family. But you know who didn't need you to work for acceptance? Nintendo. I was born in the 90s, so I can't attest to how I felt turning on the NES system for the first time and being astounded by how it's possible that you can bring the arcade home. But literally my earliest memory is of me in my parents' room, the lights off, and that bluish tint that the tube TV puts off. And it was an image of Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, and Donkey Kong falling down a pipe with Toad explaining what's going on. So Nintendo for its entire duration has worked on how to bring people together. How to immerse you into a world where you didn't have to be cool. You were cool. You were Link, a young boy who had the adventure that no kid could possibly do. Me personally, I hate camping, and I don't want to talk to talking trees. That's scary. But I would have told the Great Deku Tree he was dying, like, oh yeah, I'm dying. That sounds like a personal problem. That's on you, partner. But Link, on the other hand, he was fearless, and he made me feel like I was responsible for saving the princess too. And we did it. You know, he might have died once or 40 times, but we did it, you know. Nintendo showed me a pink blob named Kirby that would be at the center of some of my most hilarious dirty jokes that I cannot say on YouTube. Nintendo also gave us a game like Mario Kart where you would physically fight your friend who tried to pick Toad because you know they be cheating for him, and they give him all the best items because it don't make no sense how he getting red shells and thunderbolts and he in first place. But I digress. Nintendo and Game Freak also brought me one of my greatest joys in the world, which is getting intoxicated and playing Pokemon for hours, where I would get my starter, you know, beat Blaziken, that was my first one, and level up like 40 levels over the other ones. I'd take on the league, smash them, and then I'd never catch them all. Fuck that. 150 is a lot by itself, but you know, I played Ruby and Sapphire as my first games. Shout out to my level 76 Blaziken and the rest of my level 32 team, whatever they was. But 386 Pokemon was never gonna happen. I was not gonna catch that. But it was always fun beating the game, transfer the team over to Pokemon Coliseum, and starting over with a new team because I ain't really had that many friends to battle with or nothing. But the crazy thing is, if those solo franchises themselves weren't enough on their own, Nintendo had the incredible idea to combine them into one game and let them niggas throw hands. Do you know how satisfying it is punching on this nigga Mario? With Luigi, mainly, because Mario never let my dog get no shine. Super Smash Bros. 64 was also my first introduction to characters like Samus, Captain Falcon, and even Fox, because I'm not a big space person, so that series ain't really do nothing for me. But that actually leads into my next sentiment. It didn't matter what kind of gamer you were. It didn't matter what your individual interests were or where you came from. Nintendo had a game specifically for you and what you liked. Nintendo by far has the most diverse cast of main characters and villains out of any company, head to head. Fun fact, did you know that Nintendo made Rockhawk, who, as you've seen in my last video, is the greatest Paper Mario villain ever? Just a small plug there for my last video. But back to the story. Nintendo revolutionized gaming to a point where there literally would not be a PlayStation or Xbox as you know it without Nintendo. Nintendo revolutionized platforming with Super Mario. They revolutionized 3D gaming with Super Mario 64. They expanded the already innovative Super Smash Bros. With the installment of Melee. They brought the whole family together with the introduction of the Wii, in which everybody from your younger siblings to your grandma could easily get into it. Like when I be knocking dentures off these old women, catch me in the Wii box and we gonna see. But sure, they had some small failures, but their failures have always turned into a much bigger success later on. Which brings me to the Red Plumber, who never actually does his job, and the Nintendo Switch. As I've touched on before, Mario is the mascot of this amazing company, and therefore he's been on the forefront of every system. He's been a part of every major revolution that Nintendo has caused, and although he wasn't a release title for the Switch, he found a way to outdo himself yet again. Super Mario Odyssey, in my opinion, is one of the most perfect Mario games to date. It's immersive, colorful, it drags you in. Adding to an already mind-boggling and innovative system like the Switch, perfect formula. Chef kiss. As an adult in the age of the internet, it's easy to find people who have the same interests as me, same stories and experiences, and are not afraid to speak on their love for these things, and that's simply amazing. 8-year-old me could never have imagined this thing called YouTube, where they broadcast this gameplay of the games that you like, and these people actually have followings. I couldn't have ever fathomed that there would be careers for people with these interests. And as a black boy, a black child, never in my wildest dreams would I have ever thought you could reference Pokemon and Mario and rap and it not come off as corny or uncool. But now they have avenues for it all. Now you can be free to like what you like and not have to worry about what the next person thinks. So for that next person behind the screen that's struggling, feeling like you have to hide a part of yourself to feel accepted, no matter if it's games or anything, don't hide it, because there are people out there just like you, and that goes for anybody, except for niggas who play Toad on Mario 64. Go swimming with some cinder blocks. Oxford describes acceptance as the action or process of being received as adequate or suitable, typically to be admitted into a group. Nintendo describes acceptance as being yourself, being proud of being yourself, and collecting 107 out of like 1,000 Pokemon, because I'm not doing that shit. It's dope. Now baby, you go ahead and subscribe to the channel now.